Lunkin is looking down on pocket sixes. Pre-flop, this is a classic slow-played trap setting itself up. Mike opens under the gun with king-queen offsuit, which is completely standard at these stack depths. It is a strong Broadway hand, dominates a lot of the calling range, and plays very cleanly post-flop. In the small blind, Lunkin just calls with pocket sixes. That flat looks harmless, but it is already dangerous for Mike. Small and medium pairs love to see flops, especially against an early position raiser whose range is heavy on big cards. O'Dwyer completes in the big blind with king-jack, getting a great price in closing the action. The flop comes paired rainbow. It is one of those rare boards where everyone hits something but one player is hiding a huge hand. Mike absolutely smashes it with trip queens and top kicker. Against two blinds who defended and checked to him, his continuation bet for $250,000 is automatic. He gets value from worse queens, pocket pairs, and random floats, while also denying equity from overcards and backdoor draws. What he does not know is that Lunkin has flopped a full house. After checking, Lunkin now springs the first part of the trap and raises to $750,000. That raise is doing two jobs at once. It builds a pot with a monster, and it tells a story of a semi-bluff or a weaker queen, not the very top of range. O'Dwyer correctly gets out of the way with king-jack, but Mike is in a very tough spot. Folding trip queens with top kicker to a single raise on this texture is almost impossible. The turn is the 8 of spades, a complete brick for the core battle between these two ranges. The paired queen and the 6 still matter most, and any aggressive action now is heavily weighted toward value. Lunkin leads for $1 million into a pot that is already swollen, and that sizing is perfect. It is big enough to put serious pressure on Mike's medium-strength hands.
He shoves.
I call.
Close enough.
Mike McDonald drawing thin.
Did he say 6 or sucks?
He needs a king, queen, or 8. He's got 6 outs. The river card. It's the K6!
He should have said queen.
Catz is holding 7-4 suited. Pre-flop, this heads-up pot begins exactly the way high-level players expect it to. Catz opens the small blind with 7-4 suited, raising to $240,000. In a full ring game, that hand is usually folded, but heads up, ranges widen dramatically. The flop comes, and on the surface it feels like Bonomo has won the lottery. He checks to the raiser, which fits normal strategy. Catz is expected to continuation bet frequently. Catz, however, has hit something better. With his 7, he has essentially the nuts, unless Bonomo draws another ace, and if by any miracle another 7 comes, it will be the perfect opportunity to trap Bonomo. By checking, Catz keeps his range looking capped and gives Bonomo full freedom to start telling a value story on later streets. The turn is the 5, which changes very little for the core battle between the two ranges. Draws do not really improve in a meaningful way. The board is still defined by the ace and the 7s. Now Bonomo steps out with a bet of $275,000. From his point of view, this is a natural value bet and protection play. Catz just calls. Raising the turn would advertise real strength on a board that is already hard to bluff. The river brings the final 7, putting quads on the board. This is where the hand becomes psychologically difficult for Bonomo. From his seat, he now has a full house, aces full of 7s. In a vacuum that is extremely strong, and it is easy to assume that the opponent rarely shows up with the one remaining 7 that beats it. He bets $400,000 into roughly $1.1 million, a sizing that looks like thin value targeting weaker aces and maybe stubborn pocket pairs. It is not overly large, which helps encourage crying calls and, crucially, can tempt an aggressive player into turning something into a bluff raise. Catz, holding the unique 7 that actually plays, now springs the final part of the trap. From his perspective, the line makes perfect sense. He checked the flop, flatted the turn, and now when the board pairs again, he applies maximum pressure.
Call.
Bonomo calls. And now, the amateur has the advantage in this heads-up battle.
Daniel Negreanu opens the action with ace-queen, one of those classic Broadway hands that works beautifully as a raise.
Come on, Daniel, every hand?
Yes, every hand.
Jeez.
Every hand till Saturday.
Saturday, he gets his highlights touched up.
But when Barbero calls with pocket deuces, he is entering the hand with a completely different script. Small pairs are not strong in isolation.
Got Kenny.
Hasham and Kenny call.
Here we go.
Got some of that loose cannon money.
For Negreanu, this looks like a board he can lean on. The paired deuce means there are fewer combinations of trips available, and with his pre-flop raise, he can credibly represent all the strong aces and overpairs. So he fires $3,000, aiming to pick up the pot uncontested or extract value from pairs below the ace. Barbero, though, is sitting on quads. If he raises here, he narrows Negreanu's range immediately to hands that can continue, and with quads, that is the last thing he wants. By just calling, he lets Negreanu's entire bluffing range stay alive, setting a trap that is as much psychological as mathematical. The turn brings the ace. This is where the hand shifts. For Negreanu, the ace is one of the best cards in the deck. His hand improves to top pair, top kicker, and it strengthens the story he's been telling since pre-flop. But this same card is a gift to Barbero. Now Negreanu is less likely to slow down, more likely to stack off, and completely unaware he is drawing dead. Negreanu checks, perhaps to control the size of the pot, but Barbero is not letting this street pass by. He bets $9,200, a number that looks perfectly believable as a value bet with a medium ace or even a stubborn pocket pair. Negreanu calls, convinced he is still far ahead of the likely range. Negreanu checks again, expecting Barbero to take a stab. Barbero obliges with $20,000, a sizing that pressures Negreanu's entire calling range but still looks callable with top pair. From Negreanu's seat, folding feels impossible.
I'm thinking like 6s or 7s. 6s or 7s are good for me. I had you on ace-4, unfortunately, on the turn. So if you had ace-4, then you just made a straight. Huh.
Drop the stakes you play at in the comments and whether you're an online grinder or live game player. Let's see if we're running with high rollers or micro warriors.
God, I don't like that river. Such a good river for you if you put me on jacks, right? You figure I have jacks, you have to bet that river card now. So many, I leveled myself with the pause in the turn. You know what I mean? On the turn, I studied, and like sort of changed my range in his eyes, which forces me to go like that.
Daniel calls.
I had the nuts.
Oh, that's good too. Quads!
Jennifer Tilly kicks things off with a pair of 5s. But she's up against Hasham with ace-king offsuit, who has raised to $2,500 in this crazy poker cash game.
Daniel's out. Tilly, pocket 5s. Should be an easy call. She does.
Surprises one time, Ken, and just put the 3-bet in.
It'll happen.
Surprises
Not with those cards.
Are you feeling the peer pressure right now?
You can't think of it like that. You have to think that $800 bought you goodwill at the table and possibly an invitation to be invited back. Because, you know, these guys love when you straddle.
The flop comes 5-king 7 rainbow. Jennifer hits the set and Joe Hasham just made top pair, top kicker. And if you know poker, you know that's the kind of hand that makes grown men hand over their chips with a smile and then cry in the parking lot.
Tilly donks it for 3K.
Poor Joe Hasham, this is just not his week.
Poker isn't about what you have. It's about what you represent. And right now, Joe's call caps his range. He's telling Jennifer he doesn't have 2-pair. He doesn't have a set. He's sitting on a 1-pair hand, hoping to keep the pot low.
5 of clubs, quads for Jen. This is the second time Joe's been up against quads this week.
Tilly is holding the bangers. But notice, no fast plays, not even a bet. She's hoping he has caught something to hold on to while she tries to slowly squeeze him off.
Joe could easily think he's ahead.
Obviously he does. He bets $6,500.
Everyone at the table thinks she's the playful actress who overplays marginal hands. But right now, she's successfully turning that persona into pure profit. And Hasham, like most men would, falls for her trap.
Jen min raises to 13K.
By making it the smallest raise possible, she's given herself a good shot at getting called.
And Joe does make the call. Jen's got quads and she's got herself a customer. Ace of diamonds, 2-pair for Joe. That is not a good card for him.
20,000.
That's 20K.
I call.
And Joe calls.
I call, Jen.
You call?
4 of a kind again.
Am I the king of quads today or what?
Joe can't believe it.
Really?
The loose cannon is looking down on pocket jacks. He puts in the re-raise to 4,200, and that single decision defines everyone else's incentives. From his seat, he is doing two things at once: value targeting the opener with a tight, high card-heavy range, and forcing the field to reveal how speculative they're willing to get at price. And Hasham, with a mid-pair, is taking the classic set mine plus pressure line. The price after a 3-bet is not perfect, but against 3 players, the implied odds get juicier, and 7s retain outs against almost anything.
Okay, we all wasted time. We did our little, every one of us, we did the, we know we're calling.
Yeah. Whenever you called, everybody knew it was.
We all know we're calling. It's just a little, we're trying to be like Jennifer Tilly there a little bit. Actors.
Oh, yeah.
The loose cannon has just connected in the strongest way possible and chooses stillness over fireworks. He does not need protection on this texture, and in a 4-handed pot, any bet from the pre-flop aggressor looks so credible that it will vacuum the air out of the room. By checking, he invites stories to bloom from worse hands and gives the field a chance to stab into a board they should attack. The turn brings the 4 of hearts, barely nudging ranges, and the checks roll to Hasham. Now he fires 12,000, smart, targeted pressure. He is keying on the universal fear of trips, punishing capped checkbacks, and leveraging position to buy folds from ace highs and small pairs that hate life facing 2 streets.
That's what you did last time.
When?
12,000.
Last night, Hasham bet 12-5 on the river against the loose cannon. Ken made the call with queens, and Joe showed him 2 pair to take it.
It was 12,500 last time.
Hrankowski just calls. Note the elegance. Raising here collapses Hasham's bluffs and isolates only better or folding hands. Calling keeps the net wide, disguises strength, and lets Hasham talk himself into bigger numbers on rivers that do not change much. River is the deuce, another brick, and Hasham does the unthinkable.
I'm all in.
He's all in.
Cool. 4 jacks, I guess.
She's in with 6s.
Jennifer Tilly kicks things off with pocket 6s. This is a decent hand to entertain a small raise with and see if luck is on your side.
Back on Arden. She calls the 3-bet as well, so 3-way to the flop. Oh my word, set over set, and Griffin's flop top pair?
This is going to be bad for Griffin, but it's going to be real bad for Arden.
With the board that the flop delivers, everyone has something to bet about. But instead of that, Tilly and Cho decide to check. With that in mind, our weak top pair is trying to take control of the board by shooting a small bet of $2,500. Tilly is loving it because other than a set of kings, nothing else on the board beats her, and she would love to see this pot growing, so naturally she calls. Miss Cho, on the other hand, has a completely different plan. She is not waiting for the pot to grow. She is growing it herself. She does that by firing a $9,400 bet. Now Benger has a choice. Entertain this top pair, or realize the truth and just give up.
Why is he so serious? He's like a goober 99% of the time.
The angry man quickly decides to fold and not pursue the king. On the other hand, Tilly is more than happy to oblige Miss Cho by re-raising to $30,000 with her set of 6s.
Oh boy.
Jen re-raises $30,000.
At this point, Miss Cho should know the deep trouble she finds herself in, but still decides to go ahead and call on her set of 5s. The turn delivers the 9 of clubs, a card that is completely irrelevant to both of them. If I was in the position of Tilly, I would be betting pot here. What would you? Let me know in the comments below. I guess Tilly is not so happy about my jamming suggestion, so she decides to check here and wait for something magical on river. Same thing for Miss Cho. In her case, though, that is in her favor.
And Arden spikes a 1-outer. She's got quads. Meanwhile, Jenna's river to full house.
Buckle up, because this hand just went from pretty sick to absolutely bonkers.
People say patience is a virtue, but in Tilly's case, her patience came to bite her from behind. The river delivers the only card that can save Miss Cho, and that is the 5 of clubs. Now the only question is, will Tilly get baited by her now full house hand? Or will she read her for the quads Miss Cho has? And as we all thought she should do, Miss Cho goes.
There it is.
This is not good.
No, it sure isn't.
If Jen calls, this will be the biggest pot of the game.
Arden, you have quads because I can't beat quads.
Does she know?
I don't think you have kings full.
And I don't think you have 9s flow. You might have 5s flow.
That's a call.
Malak is looking down on pocket 4s. He limp calls the small blind to keep the pot cheap, hide his strength, and tempt the big blind to isolate wider than normal. Reichenstein does exactly that with queen 6 offsuit.
1.2? 1.4. Wow. 1.4. Okay.
Yuri may end up regretting telling Sebastian to have fun.
Malak's banter here is not small talk. It's deliberate downplay to make his range look weak and to encourage future barrels. On an ace-high 2-heart flop, the raiser is supposed to bet at a high frequency, so Reichenstein's c-bet is automatic. Malak just calls. Raising a set here would shut down bluffs and fold out a ton of hands that are willing to keep paying. The flat keeps his range looking like weak aces, small pairs, and heart draws. It also preserves the initiative narrative on Reichenstein's side, which is exactly what you want when you're trapping. The turn brings the 10 of spades, a card that's better for the better story than for the callers. It adds overcard pressure to Malak's perceived ace-rag or pocket pair range and gives Reichenstein clean justification to keep firing with value and withdraws. Malak calls again. He isn't worried about protection. He wants the widest possible river betting range. Calling maintains the illusion that he's hanging on with a marginal 1-pair hand or a busted draw and invites a big third barrel.
Mallet improves to quads.
Oh, wow, just quads.
The river is the 4 of diamonds and it detonates the trap. Malak upgrades from a set to quads at the exact moment his opponent is most committed to the bluff. From Reichenstein's chair, this is a perfect shove card with value and a great scare card for bluffs. Many weak aces should fold to maximum pressure and missed hearts are everywhere. He chooses a large bet to blast those hands out. The problem is credibility and blockers. Queen 6 with no heart blocks, nothing that matters. It doesn't remove Malak's full houses, quads, or even the strong ace-x that will call. Meanwhile, Malak's line of call arrives at the river with almost no natural bluffs and a ton of slow-played value.
All in.
He shoves.
When he moves all in, he's perfectly polarized and his story is airtight. He let the big blind tell the tale on every street, then revealed the ending.
He folds.
Goofy limps the big blind with king 10 suited. Limping protects his range, invites isolates from hands he dominates, and keeps the pot manageable out of position with a hand that plays cleanly post-flop. Nick Airball isolates to $1,200 from under the gun with queen 9 offsuit. The raise pressures the limp, seizes initiative, and expects to realize equity against a single caller. Goofy calls. Suited Broadway is too strong to fold, too thin to 3-bet out of position, and calling keeps Nick's range wide. Goofy checks. On an ace-high, 2-diamond texture, Nick is supposed to continuation bet often, so checking lets that happen. Nick obliges for $700, a small, range-driven stab that folds air and taxes random backdoors while leaning on his perceived ace advantage. Goofy check raises to $1,700. King 10 of diamonds is a premium semi-bluff, gut shot to Broadway, the king high diamond draw, and even a royal flush. Raising clears out weak queens and 5s to 9s, charges worse draws, and starts a pot that can realize maximum value when diamonds or Broadway materialize. Nick calls with middle pair and position, keeping bluffs in and retaining control of the pot size. Bang! The 3rd diamond lands and Goofy upgrades from a draw to the nuts. With his story perfectly coherent after the flop raise, he leads $2,000. Leading now Prince, worse diamonds pay, stubborn Queen X pays, and some Ace X talk themselves into continuing because the Jack is a counterfeit scare rather than a clean killer in their minds. Goofy goes for a small, irresistible value bet of $3,500. After check raise, lead, and a blank river, this size targets exactly what Nick shows up with most often.
Makes the call. Royale with cheese. Royal.
Tedeschi kicks things off with pocket queens. He is raised to $36,000, but he's up against McAllister, whose cards we don't know yet.
Philip McAllister calls out of a stack of 1.74 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of dimp.
Rabba comes in from the big blind, so a 3-way to the flop.
Jaya Rabba.
That flop is queen 8-4 with 2 clubs. Looks like Rabba has checked to the razor.
Makes sense.
Tedeschi's pocket queens just flopped top set on a pretty dry board. It's a dream scenario for him. But McAllister and Rabba could easily have flush or straight draws since they just called pre-flop. So he's probably going to look for a value bet here.
It's been checked to McAllister. I've been impressed by what we've seen from this guy today.
Pose. Really? It supposedly means you're comfortable. A lot of poker players sit like that.
The bet from McAllister is 48K.
Rabba doesn't look like he's gonna fold here. We don't know if he's drawing or if he actually has a piece of the board. But after Tedeschi checked on the flop, he might raise and try to scare him off.
Rabba calls. Monsieur Tedeschi.
I think it's Paul Tedeschi, actually.
Tedeschi's in an interesting spot here. He's confident his hand is strong, but Rabba's call indicates some kind of draw or a strong pair. He's probably wondering if Rabba's just trying to see the turn cheaply or if he's setting up a move. It's a tricky decision. Does he bet for value, or does he just call and allow these two bad boys to potentially bluff on the turn?
That's a call as well. We're still three-way as we go to the turn. Yeah, Jack of Hearts on the turn. Rabba checks. And I think that was a check from Tedeschi, yep.
He's gone from the one arm on one shoulder to two arms on two shoulders. The old water slide pose.
Philip McAllister bets again, 136,000.
This could be a potentially huge pot.
Especially as it looks like he's calling. He's raised all in. McAllister just called. He flats the all in. But look at the price he's getting.
Cool. Okay, well.
Does call.
No one has a pot-sized bet left behind now.
Good point.
The river brings the ace of hearts and Rabba's looking down at the board, still not knowing the strength of Tedeschi's hand. He could be holding a decent pair or even a straight, but the ace definitely changes the dynamic. Does he believe Tedeschi has a hand like two pair, or is he worried about a potential set or a straight? The ace might just be the card Rabba needs to bluff at this pot and try to steal it.
Do these two just check it down? No, they don't. He bets 300.
Actually competing for the main pot of 1.4 million. And now, McAllister moves all in.
How does everyone have a hand here?
I have no idea. Baffling the way this hand is played out. That's a call.
No, it's a fold. Yes. And he likes what he sees.
No, King 10 clubs.
King 10 of hearts for a royal flush.
It is a royal, and look at that, Tedeschi did have a set of queens. What a terrible, disgusting run out for what is going to be the best hand almost always.
This was a nasty royal flush poker river cooler.